Okay mga kaibigan, so this is the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and this is the Sony ZV-1. And originally my plan for this video, and also take note that what you're hearing right now is from the microphone of both these devices, and I'm not using my Razer Rarin Mini for this. But again, the main reason for this video is not to compare the prices of these two devices. I know that the S23 Ultra costs double the price basically of the Sony ZV-1, and that's not the point again. But how does a 2023 flagship smartphone compare to an already great dedicated camera? And originally my plan for this video was to make a side-by-side comparison test of both these devices in their intelligent auto mode for the ZV-1 and the default mode in the S23 Ultra. So first off was to tell you guys the specifications of the ZV-1, its only lens, and on the S23 Ultra, its main 200 megapixel sensor. Like I already know, the S23 Ultra has the advantage of having an ultra-wide lens and insane zoom lens. But what I want to find out here is the quality in shooting in the default photo mode again, and I guess you can say default video mode. So that's again intelligent auto here on the ZV-1, and here on the S23 Ultra, just open the camera app and press the shutter button or record button. But the problem is here with the intelligent auto mode with the ZV-1, it sucks when you're taking pictures or videos in broad daylight. So just to show you guys right now, here are the pictures and videos that I took with the ZV-1, again in the intelligent auto mode, and here on the S23 Ultra basically in the default photo mode and video mode. Okay, so now for the video test. So currently, both recording in 4K 30 FPS for the ZV-1 and the S23 Ultra. And take note, I haven't really compared the video and picture quality of both these devices side by side. So for now, you guys are gonna be the ones to judge the quality, if the ZV-1 is better or if the S23 Ultra is better. But even though I haven't seen the side-by-side comparison of both these devices, I can confidently say that the ZV-1 wins here, although I guess by a small margin. Like I feel like smartphone cameras have gotten to the point that it can match the quality of most point-and shoots, and maybe some mirrorless cameras, I can't really say for certain. But I am pretty confident that the S23 Ultra comes close to the quality that you're getting out of something like the ZV-1 or even an RX 100. And something to take note when it comes to stabilization is here on the ZV-1 you actually get two modes for the steady shot, which is basically like Sony's, I guess you could say, like trademark for their image stabilization on their camera. So currently this is set to steady shot standard. There is another mode which is steady shot active, which puts a significant crop. And also for the S23 Ultra, video stabilization is turned off, wherein if I turn on video stabilization on the S23 Ultra, it pretty much does the same effect. It crops in a whole lot. So again, for now, you guys be the judge of the quality of the 4K videos coming out of these two devices. And now this is with the ZV-1 set to steady shot active and with video stabilization turned on here on the S23 Ultra. And as you can see, compared to earlier, the crop is real significant. Although something to take note, the S23 Ultra does have a super steady shot mode, but that's only for recording in Quad HD at 30 FPS. And when it comes to the autofocus of these two devices, while the S23 Ultra's autofocus is already like fast enough for a smartphone, the ZV-1 just crushes it. I mean, Sony in general, when it comes to autofocus, just crushes it. So first off, the S23 Ultra. Now, while this is already pretty quick, here's the ZV-1. So yeah, pretty much instantaneous here on the ZV-1. And take note, this is with product showcase turned off for the ZV-1. If you didn't know what product showcase is, basically it's a mode that you can turn on wherein the ZV-1 focuses more on inanimate objects, just like this baseball. So obviously for autofocus, the ZV-1 crushes it here. Okay, so the thing that you may have noticed with the ZV-1 is that it doesn't really perform well in terms of exposure when shooting pictures and videos in broad daylight. So it tends to just blow out the skies, or if your light source is just a tad bit too bright. So I'm actually gonna say it right now, while I love my ZV-1, if you're one of the people who were looking to buy a point-and-shoot camera because, first of all, it's compact, you don't need to swap out the lenses, and I wouldn't say a cheap device. So my ZV-1 here in the Philippines, I was able to buy for about 38,000 Philippine pesos, and at that price I think it's a great value. But the problem is, again, if you were one of the people who were thinking of buying the ZV-1, or maybe bought the ZV-1 already and thinking that I can just use it in the auto mode because I don't want to go through the other settings on this device. Yeah, same, that was my mindset. And the thing is, I think it was already great since I didn't really take any pictures and videos in broad daylight. If you were one of the people who were planning on buying the ZV-1 even in 2023, and we're planning on just using it in the intelligent auto mode because it's the most convenient, you don't need to mess around with the settings, then this camera most likely isn't for you. And if you aren't really that serious in photography or videography in general, then your smartphone camera actually does already a great job in those. See, the advantage when using your smartphone when taking pictures or videos is that it has AI. With my S23 Ultra, as you can see from the results, I can already get great results just by opening the camera app and yeah, just taking pictures and videos right away. But the thing is, with a smartphone camera, at least with this situation, with my S23 Ultra being compared to my ZV-1, my ZV-1 just has better sharpness and detail in both pictures and videos. Even though the S23 Ultra does have a 200 megapixel sensor as its main sensor, do take note with the S23 Ultra, by default it takes 12 megapixel shots. So yeah, you can shoot in 200 megapixels if you change it in the settings, but yeah, I'm not really sure how people feel about 50 megapixel photos. So if you do want to take great pictures and videos on the ZV-1 without the highlights being blown out, then you will have to go into manual settings, turn on ND filter, and crank up the shutter speed. And the same pretty much goes with videos. But pretty much my verdict when comparing these two devices is I still prefer my ZV-1 over my S23 Ultra when it comes to sharpness and detail. Like, obviously, I think you can see it with this side-by-side test that the ZV-1 is just sharper and has more detail compared to the 4K video here on the S23 Ultra. But the thing with the ZV-1 is, if you want to make the most out of it, then you will have to dive into manual settings, adjust shutter speed, aperture, and all that shit. But if you're just one of those people who just want great quality pictures and videos without messing with the settings, and you don't really mind not getting the sharpness and detail that you can get from a dedicated camera, then yeah, maybe something like the S23 Ultra is something for you. It doesn't have to be an expensive flagship smartphone. It can be a mid-range smartphone that has proven to have a great camera. Then yeah, by all means, go for a smartphone. But let's say that you're one of the content creators who actually want the best, yeah, pretty much get the best quality that you can get, then by all means, go for the ZV-1. For me, it's still worth every penny, even in 2023. But the main problem with my ZV-1, it tends to overheat and shut down and is quite inconsistent. So it's a 50-50. So 50% chance of it, me being able to record 4K 30 FPS indefinitely, and another 50% chance of it shutting down, overheating and shutting down just after 5 to 10 minutes of recording 4K. So at least that's my experience with my Sony ZV-1. Maybe you guys can share your experience if you have a ZV-1 and you record in 4K 30 FPS. But going back to the main reason why I made this video, how does a 2023 flagship smartphone compare to an already great dedicated camera? In this case, my S23 Ultra versus the Sony ZV-1, at least when comparing the default auto modes of these two devices. So again, intelligent auto mode here in the ZV-1 and the default mode here on the S23 Ultra. The S23 Ultra just wins all around, even when shooting in broad daylight. But when it comes to overall quality, the best that I can get, at least for me, when going into the manual settings of the ZV-1, then it's hands down the ZV-1 beats the S23 Ultra, but not by a huge margin though. And yeah, I think I didn't forget anything. So of course, leaving a like is the easiest way to support the channel. Consider subscribing if you like my content and turn on notifications for all, so you'll be updated on my latest videos. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Flip a bag, now I'm serving a Tesla. Going back, shawty with me, I stepped up. GTA for the ops and on Leicester. Shawty born to be my angel, yeah, I'm blessed up. Cooking right up in the stew, gotta check the fan. Yeah, I'm watching out for ops, yeah, they know my